Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for coming to the channel. Okay everyone, you want to see something gross, interesting, and fun? If you're a nerd like me, fun. Gross if you're spouse to a nerd like me, and probably like a lot of other people on planet Earth. What I'm about to show you is considered disgusting by the vast majority of people, I am sure. So what I'm doing here is harvesting the larva of a peanut beetle, the peanut beetle larva, of which I will now find you one. There you go. That's the adult. And the larva is like that. Now that's a dead one. These are the pupa. And the pupa are similar to a Mexican jumping bean in that they are the in-between stage of metamorphosis of the adult and the larva. And when they go into the pupa stage, they often will wiggle around, as you can see there, which depending on your depending on your worldview is amazing, awesome, interesting, or disgusting, gross, get that out of my sight. Now the reason I'm doing this, and it's somewhat painstaking slash fun slash painstaking, is because the larva, I'm going to show you what I've harvested. Those are all the larvae. Probably should have started there. They have different stages, or instars, I believe it's called, between a really teeny larva and then the bigger size like this, which is the stage before or just before they turn into pupa like this. There's a couple larvae now. I'll get into the harvesting because it's tricky and it is somewhat painstaking. There's no super fast way to do it, but it's a little bit therapeutic, and it's part of the hobby of fish keeping if you want it to be. Certainly it doesn't have to be. There's a million prepared foods, frozen foods, and even other easier to obtain live foods. But the peanut beetle larva has more innate protein than most other foods on planet Earth, at least the ones that you can give to your tropical fish. It is a money source when it comes to nutrition and delition. Nutritious and delicious, as Kellogg's used to say. The peanut beetle larva cannot be beat when it comes to feeding most of your tropical fish. I say most because fish with really small mouths will struggle with these the same way they will with bloodworms. They might carry it around like a cigar in their mouth, but they won't be able to swallow it or break through the chitinous pseudo-exoskeleton of the larva before they become beetles. Now, I'll talk more about what I just covered, but there is your beetles on a peanut, and what they will do, I know, and right, how am I holding that? Well, they're harmless. At least they're harmless in this context. I will talk about a interesting and important side note. The adult cannot be fed to your tropical fish. Most popular wisdom suggests that they emit a toxin that is not suitable for tropical fish when the beetle is in its adult stage, but it is not in the larva stage. So now you see a larva and an adult right there in the same shot. And what they will do is burrow into these nuts, lay their eggs, hatch the larva, and then in theory, you can break open the nut and all the larvae will be in there. Well, folks, that is doable, and I have had that situation where I was able to pick up a peanut loaded with beetles and open it and find larvae inside. But 8 times out of 10, they're not inside. Maybe the eggs are. I will find nuts that have been eaten and there it becomes a powder that has its own specific name that escapes me now. But where I find the bulk of what I harvest is right at the top of the substrate here. See all those? And I'll take a spoon and I'll just grab like a spoonful, and then I'll pour it on a white paper towel. And the reason I do this is because it's easy to separate and see, and then I'll use a tweezer and pick up the peanut beetle and or larva rather, and put it into a container, and you can see right there. One trick is also, and then I keep the larva, the pupas separate, because I feed those right away before they can turn into adults, because it's only gonna be hours or a day or so, and all these would be crawling around beetles, and then I couldn't feed them. So I will feed those right away. And my angelfish and rainbow, they'll be gone before they know what hit them. Same with these wiggly, tantalizing larvae, like that big boy right there. And I'll just gather a whole bunch and pour them into the fish tank that I want to feed them to, and the fish go into a frenzy, and before you know it, they're all gone. And it almost seems like I spent, a half an hour harvesting for 20 seconds. And all that's true and utterly, completely unnecessary. But like I said, there's something sort of therapeutic and interesting to me about this painstaking process of harvesting peanut beetle larvae, pouring, separating, dealing with the grossness, putting the pupa here and the larva there. I mean, I get it. It's not for everybody, but it attaches you to your fish and to your fish keeping in ways that opening a can of flakes just simply cannot. One easy part about this whole procedure is starting a culture. Like if I gave you one of these nuts and you threw it in with some oatmeal and a handful of peanuts, and then you can take a few pieces of Old Aid crate, maybe add a couple drops of water to them, or as I do is you cut a piece of baked potato like you see down in there, and you see how all the larvae are just totally on top of it. They can feed and take water from the slice of potato for a week or more, and then the potato slice dries up to like a chip, so it's completely never gross. That part is easy peasy. And then you just replace the piece of potato in your culture, and you leave the oatmeal as is and the nuts as is, occasionally breaking open one, see if you've got, because if you do find a peanut that's loaded with larvae, it is easy. You can just break that open over this, and they will all fall in. This, I end up doing it, you get pretty quick. Like you can just, it's gonna be hard as I'm holding the camera, and then you just kind of boop, 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 boop. And so it's like separating beads when you're making a necklace or something along those lines, although they're creepy, crawly beads. I don't think my daughters would have anything to do with this. It's no surprise none of them are home while I'm making this video because, there's bugs running around. I get it, everybody. Oh, yeah, no, I covered everything. I was gonna talk about the toxin in the adults, but that has already been established. It's probably not a whole lot more toxic than this can of Monster that I'm wont to drink. I also, in my research, found out that very toxin is also, some cultures, Southeast Asian cultures, I think, actually eat the peanut beetle for certain nutrition and therapeutic reasons. That isn't gonna happen here with me or anybody close to me. But that's what I know about the peanut beetle, harvesting its larvae to feed your tropical fish. I hope you found this interesting, and if not, or disgusting, if so, then I apologize for that. And I say thank you for the rest of it. Okay, everybody, keep your hands in the tank, and sometimes somewhere infinitely more bizarre. Ciao for now.